morning, everyone. What is it that you think could possibly brighten up your day? Well, my answer to that is colour. So let's dive on into this Yarnsmiths yarn I have and see what colour combos we can create. I'm starting off with one that is similar to the blanket behind me. Oopsie days. I'm starting off with this colourway, which is similar to the blanket behind me. I just didn't get the light sage, which would replace that one, and it would be absolutely beautiful and perfect. So you can do this colourway in a Yarnsmiths yarn if you've got the right colours, that is. But this is nice. I really like this too. I've only seen a few videos on the topic of colour, and it's usually just showing us the colour wheel, which I find really boring. And then there's the complementary and contrasting colours, and that's pretty much all they leave us with. It got to the point where every time I would see one of these colour wheels, I would feel a sense of disappointment because they just didn't help me in any way. And I'm certainly in the minority when it comes to not enjoying these colours like this, being primary colours and bright colours. I would love to see a colour wheel that was huge and it had all different shades, tones and hues around it. Then I'd be happy. But I do understand and appreciate that most of you love these colours, love putting them together. The brightness brings you joy. It's my own sensitivity, and I know that brightness doesn't bring me joy at all. Toned down brings me warm and snug, and that feels much better for me. So it's really quite an individual thing, isn't it? This one actually has a few other colour combinations that we might just have a little look at. This one is monochromatic, various shades of the same colour. Now that's one that I really like. Adds depth and visual interest when working with just one colour. Analogous colours are colours adjacent to each other on the colour wheel, and they have low contrast. That's probably me as well, because the colours I love together don't have a lot of contrast unless I throw in one light colour just to set the colourway off. Complementary are opposite sides of the colour wheel. These colours are used together to create high contrast. So yellow and purple, green and red, blue and orange, they're considered complementary. Split complementary is start with a base colour and then choose two colours adjacent to complement. Okay, you would choose blue, then you would have orange and a more yellowy orange to go with that. We've got a triad, 3 colours equally spaced around the wheel. It's a harmonious combination. 12, say we have yellow, red and purple. Again, if they were shaded down, they may look fabulous. But in these primary and bright colours, to me, they just don't. And I know I am almost alone with that. In my humble opinion, I think the colour combos that you make should come from the heart. They should be colours that when you look at them, you're either smiling in real life or on the inside. When your eyes brighten up and your heart gets a nice warm feeling around your chest. That to me is colour theory at its best. I couldn't love this colour combo any more if I tried. Look at that. To me, that is perfection. It makes my heart happy and I'm smiling. And my eyes just can't stop looking at it. These beauties all have a similar tone throughout, even the dark brown. It's hard to explain. Again, it's one of those things you look at and it feels right on the inside. I think they're gorgeous. This one is way too bright for me, but it is a representation of that Exmouth colour that I have dyed in my yarn, and I'll actually go and get the little blanket that I made from it. I'll be back. These ones are actually more like the Exmouth colour that I have dyed and made this little blanket from. Let me show you. It's a little log cabin style. It is yarn that's called 3DK, which actually wraps up, when you do wraps per inch, more like a 10 ply or a worsted. It's quite thick, it's very soft, it's beautifully drapey, and I sell a lot of this for beanies, scarves, the odd shawl, actually even amigurumi. One lady made some and it was just gorgeous. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skeins worth to make this little blanket. And of course I can't repeat the dye recipe because I didn't write down what I did. All I know is that I warmed the colours up with some grey and then of course just speckled over top of. So that's toned them right down, as opposed to the base colour being like these. But my blanket colour is much warmer, and that's what I prefer. I really, really like that. Now there's this colour combination. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. I'll show you where I got this one from. Straight from this blanket. Parchment, gold, some purples and some pinks, and a brown. With my colourways, more often than not, you will find either parchment, brown or gold alongside most other colours. It's just been something that has evolved and took me a little while to notice. Now I know that that's just the way I tend to lean into developing colourways. The colours that we choose can remind us of certain things or times through our life. Like I automatically think of a pair of jeans and a white top with these ones. It could be Wedgwood crockery. There is a colour that I say that I don't like, yet I will tend to buy it and use it at times. And the reason is because of school uniforms and my nursing uniforms back when I was training. And then also when I came out into the hospital, they would have this blue turquoise colour as a uniform. So it's a colour that was with me for probably way too long. So you kind of get affected by colour as well as enjoying it. So like that's a really harsh way to talk about these beautiful colours. All because I wore them for decades of my life and probably just needed a change. I love it when colours or colourways have a story associated with them. The other day when I was unpacking this yarn order, I came across this blue that was called Delft. And I've never heard of it in my whole life. Someone was kind enough to explain to me that Delft is a pottery style or colour actually. It's Delft blue. And apparently that pottery was originally created in a town called Delft in the Netherlands and is inspired by the Chinese ceramics back in the 1600s. So that's where the story of the Delft comes in. Delft blue. Here's a nice colourway. Blues, gold and warm tans, tan colour, straw colour maybe. I do struggle with blues, so I just thought I'd better put some effort into doing some blue colourways. I like this one a lot. Okay, this is what I think would go well with grey. That's a ginger and a copper. And you know, when it's made up, it might look a little bit dank, if you know what I mean by dank. It might need a parchment or a linen or even a white to give it a lift. But just going by the ball colours, those ones stood out to me. Let me go and try some more with grey. To be honest, I'm really struggling with grey. I must say, I really like that. I think it's really pretty, but I'm struggling with grey. Whereas colours like this, that I can just pluck out quick as, knowing that I just love them together. It's easy, it feels right, makes me smile on the inside and the outside and get excited. So how's that? We do definitely have some biases with our colours. I'm not at all any help to you when it comes to the colour wheel. The only time it helps me is when I'm thinking of a shade I want to create with my dye colours. So that's when it's good to know what yellow and red creates, or red and purple, or, you know, purple and blue, etc., etc. But I have advice for you though. There's a few things that help me figure out what colours to use and what I'm liking. Number one is to take a look at your decor. Have a look at what colour you have put into your surroundings. Your clothing can be a hint, but it may also not, because I dress in black and grey nowadays. Once upon a time when I was younger, it was pink, red, anything, green, white, lots of white. Things have changed over time, so I don't find our clothing to be a really good marker for choosing colours that we really love. Number two is to take notice of yourself and your bodily reactions when you're looking at certain colours and colourways. There's that feeling in the chest again. It just feels nice or excited, or it just makes you feel good and relaxed. There's that smile that you will either have on your face or have that smile feeling on the inside. And then there's your eyes. When you see a colourway you love, you just so enjoy looking at it, and your eyes can feel brighter and happier. Take notice of those feelings, because they're the ones that will give us a strong hint as to what colours we like. We need to acknowledge and accept that we do have colour biases for various reasons. Oftentimes it's things from the past that we've experienced through life. I've heard that over and over again. Just like the granny square, once upon a time was something that people just weren't loving, purely because of the granny square clothing that our parents put on us when we were younger, or seeing the granny square blankets that they made back then that aren't made with all the beautiful colours and shades that we have now. It has really affected quite a number of people. We've had lots of conversation about that in times gone past. So in my opinion, the easiest thing to do to develop a colourway is just start with one. Choose the one colour that you love the most and then start adding to it. If you don't have the yarn colours in your stash, what you can do is go down to Bunnings or your local hardware store. If you're still allowed to take home lots of those colour card swatches, play around with mixing and matching to develop colours that you love. I'll show you a pretty little spring colourway. Now this one I have used in my dyeing of yarn, white, yellow, pinks, and there's that spearmint green. I think it looks really pretty with this bunch. You can pop the purples in instead of the pinks, and I think this works well too. I think that's pretty. Again, not my favourite at all, but pretty though. This has been a nice little journey through colour, because I'm happy to say that I now think I am a monochromatic girl and analogous, if that's how you say it. I would so love to hear back from you, letting me know what colours you love and why, and are any of you also more towards the same direction as me? I can't be alone, can I? Surely I can't be alone. I hope this has helped you to clarify your own preferences just that little bit closer than you were before you started watching. These are the colours approximately that I used for my Sophie's Universe. They're not exact, of course, but they're along these lines. Now here's a colourway that really floats my boat. This one just gets me so excited. This is essentially the colours that was used in the Battenberg blanket that I made for my granddaughter. Aren't they gorgeous? No doubt there's a whole lot of other colourways I could have made up and experimented with. Look at these, just caught my eye here, this section. Orange, red, pink, and these blues. Isn't that gorgeous? And they're actually quite bright. I am really loving that. It's just amazing what you'll find when you look at things through different perspectives. And certainly, when you look back at your work through your camera, when you've taken photos or videos, it helps you understand your colour even more. I'd best go and clear out the lounge room and start packing this yarn away. You go off and enjoy your colour, enjoy your crochet, and I will see you here again for another video another day. Bye for now.